JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 5th of August 2021. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts. The first one, as always, I'm just going to go through some of the instruments that I looked at this week, some new ones of course, but yeah, just to see how everything's getting along so far. You can see on Nikkei, it's not really moving far away from its 200-day EMA. It continues to trade above it, but still kind of doesn't really move further away from it. So for now, I mean, we can say that yes, we'll continue monitoring this. Of course, the index is still trading in positive territory, but we still have 1 day left of trading here. The index is already closed, but yeah, the market is already closed here. So yep, for now, I would say in a way, the fact that it's still trading above that 200-day EMA, of course, gives a few more buyers kind of this bit of this hope that higher levels could be met. But at the moment, I mean, I still, as I mentioned before, I would prefer to maybe wait for a push above that 28,000 territory at least in order to start considering higher levels. So for now, it's a bit of a kind of waiting game here, but I hope it eventually can prove itself worthwhile. But again, like I said, let's not rush into anything, because if by any chance we see another decline here and we see a drop somewhere below this 27,385 territory, then yep, we could consider maybe a bit of a decline again. Now jumping into Hong Kong's Seng index, I've looked at this one last week, if you remember, and I said that what I'm considering here is maybe to see a bit of a corrective move lower here towards this 26,000 territory, which if somehow provides support, yep, could see then a nice rebound and a push higher. So although we had those overshoots, but as you can see, it's still the daily candles remained, the bodies of the daily candles remained above this hurdle, above that 26,000 territory, and this way kind of you can see, yep, this is where the bulls saw an opportunity and pushed the index a little bit higher here. However, what I said before as well, that I'm not gonna drag this one way too much to the upside. I'm just gonna aim for this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 28th of June. So let's see if this downside line does the job and once again provides resistance. If it does that, then well, another slide could be possible. We do have the 21-day EMA here as well around this area, and if all that provides good hold up, then yes, like I said, another decline might be possible. But if we break this, then certainly, of course, the opposite could happen, and we could see a nice further move north. So keep that in mind. The German index DAX, and yeah, yesterday pushed higher and managed to stay above that. This 15,681 territory, but didn't really stay above the. Let me just quickly mark that one on the chart. Let me just recycle one of these lines, and it didn't really manage to remain above the previous highest point of this week, because the previous highest point was here, and it was near the 15,703 territory, approximately around there. It did overshoot that by a little bit, but still drifted back down. So again, I would say that in a way I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one. However, let's not forget that if this area somehow continues to provide resistance, then basically a bit of a slide here could be possible. Now, looking at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is trading at around 15,684 level. So basically it's back below this highlighted territory, the one that I had here previously, and if we stay below that, then maybe the index is still willing to kind of trade within this little range. But again, let's not rush into anything yet. Like I said, I'm cautiously bullish on this one, but again, a clear breakout through this whole territory right here would be needed, and yep, then yes, we could aim for that all-time high near the. And let me just grab this one. Yep, near the 15,810.11 territory, approximately around there, guys. So yeah, and then we'll take it from there. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average yesterday declined, and yep, we had the worse than expected the ADP numbers coming out yesterday from the U.S. So that kind of gave a bit of a negative kind of flare on the whole kind of outlook here. But nevertheless, if we take a look at it from this perspective, we'll see that the price is still trading above some of these upside lines, and one of which is this one right here, taken from the low, the 4th of March. So in a way, even if we see the index drifting a little bit lower, if once again this upside line does the job and provides support, then yes, a nice rebound could be possible, and a push higher, yes, as well, could be possible. But again, if this upside line gets broken, certainly this could open the door towards slightly lower levels. But let's not forget that we are still kind of trading above some of these upside lines here. So in other words, any move to the downside here could still be classed as a temporary correction. I mean, it could be classed as a larger correction, but still a temporary one. But again, like I said, keep your eyes on some of these lines. Let's see, like I said, let's see how that's going to play out. But for now, if we take a look at also the cash index, we'll see that the price is trading at around 34,830 territory, so it's just slightly above yesterday's close. Now, that means that we are kind of still holding to this 21-day EMA, which could be seen as a positive here for the near-term outlook. Yeah, we could see maybe a nice rebound and a push back up, because as you can see, the 21-day EMA does its job. Sometimes it does provide a good hold up. So let's see if it's going to be the case this time. Again, if it will be the case, then yeah, like I said, we'll aim for that all-time high again. NASDAQ 100. So although Dow declined yesterday, NASDAQ was supported by the good performance of the technological stocks, and yep, I can see here the index overcame the downside line, the one that I talked about in the beginning of this week, guys. So it overcame this downside line taken from the high of the 26th of July, so we can get rid of it. And now it seems that yep, we want to continue pushing higher. However, don't get me wrong, given that we have held here near this 15,079 territory, approximately around here, there could be a chance for maybe a bit of a decline. However, looking at the cash index, this is where the interesting bit is. Currently the cash index is trading in around 15,087, 86 territory, so basically above this hurdle, so we can get rid of it because it's no longer valid. What we can stick to here is certainly this upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of May of 2021, so that kind of could continue to kind of provide support. Even if we see a bit of a decline here, guys, still there is a chance for the bulls to step in somewhere near this upside line, near this 21-day EMA, which kind of almost coincides here with this upside line. And then yes, a few more buyers could jump in here and push higher. For the downside, I would prefer to stay careful here and wait for a drop below somewhere below this 14,787 territory, marked by near the low of the 27th of July. And if that gets cleared, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So keep that in mind. But for now, guys, long story short, still we are leaning a little bit more towards the upside. However, be very careful, of course. If this upside line is broken and the index falls below this 14,787 territory, then yes, we could consider a bit of a decline here. Now, jumping into DXY and looking at this picture, you can see that yesterday, of course, the whole kind of the spotlight, I would say, the US dollar fell under the spotlight, and it accelerated. We can see from the technical side here, we can see that the index reached the downside line here, the one that I talked about, and this downside line got broken, and now we're currently testing this 92.32 territory. I've mentioned this level as well, and basically for now, I mean, yes, it is very tempting to go higher. However, I would rather wait for this move above that 92.32 territory. If we do get that move, then yes, we could get a little bit more excited with the upside, further upside here. But if we don't, then maybe we could see a drift back down. Maybe all this could be kind of considered as a potential little range here. So in other words, what I wouldn't like to see here is something like this. Just bear with me one moment. Let me just adjust this carefully. And there we go. So this is what, of course, I wouldn't want to see eventually, but again, the market doesn't always do what we want it to do. So, you know, let's stay careful here. For now, like I said, looking at this picture, I still need to see that confirmation break above this 92.32 territory in order to go for some higher levels. Now jumping into silver, guys. So silver yesterday, if you remember, I talked about this potential idea of seeing this one as a bullish flag here, which kind of worked out. But I would say this is one of those moments that it kind of worked out and didn't, because first of all, it broke the upper side of the falling well, actually it is part of the falling wedge here. So this bullish flag, so it broke the upper side of it. It traveled higher, pushed above that 200-day EMA. 21-day EMA. My next target was this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 6th of July. And yeah, I've said that if we reach that level, this is where I'm going to stall for a little bit. I mean, I want to see what it's going to do after. So basically, good achievement here. We got our result, but at the end of the day, you can see that the dollar accelerated and pushed silver to the downside. So we we can see that the commodity fell back below the 200-day EMA and fell back inside this falling wedge, or if we can call it this way, or the so-called also the bullish flag. So again, either way, guys, it is now trading back below the 200-day EMA, back below all of its EMAs. So this kind of raises a few concerns, of course, about a possibility of moving higher. However, if by any chance we climb back above the 21-day EMA, shown here as the yellow line, then yes, once again, I'll target this downside line, and then we will take it from there. Now jumping into WTI Oil, so continued to decline, and yep, there we go. We managed to come closer to this upside support line taken from the low of the 5th of April. So now the big question here is, can it drift further below it? I mean, of course, for now the main kind of game plan is to see maybe a nice rebound here. However, if, like I said, if this upside line gets broken and the price falls somewhere below this 67.58 territory, together with the 100-day EMA shown as the green line, which, by the way, recently acted as a good area of support. So if it falls below all this area, then yes, lower levels could be met. But for the upside right now, what I would like to see is a push back above this territory, the one that I spoke about previously, this area between the 70.43 and the 70.79 levels. If we climb back above it, maybe, depending on how this is going to shape up, maybe we're going to climb also above the 21-day EMA, and that potentially could attract a few more buyers into the game. So keep that in mind. But for now, all eyes are on this upside line. Bitcoin Cash, quick update on Bitcoin Cash. To be honest, not much is happening. We're just kind of moving sideways here for a little bit, but near the upper side of the of this little range that I talked about previously. So yeah, for now, I mean, long story short, if you're looking for the upside, probably the safer option here could be to wait for a push above the current highest point of August, near the 567 territory. A nice good push above that. Yep, may also push the crypto above the this 200-day EMA together with the 100-day EMA, which coincide currently together. So so yeah, if we clear that level, then higher levels could be met. AUDUSD, guys. So AUDUSD, and looking at this picture, here you can see that the pair broke the downside line. This one here, taken from the high of the 11th of June, and yep. For now, I mean, we also did a brief push above this 0.7410 territory, the one that I spoke about previously, or should I say yesterday. We also pushed above that 21-day EMA, but we failed to remain above that area. So in a way, that's why for now I'm gonna still remain cautiously bullish on this one, because again, I need to see a stronger move above this area. I would like to see also the daily candle, the body of the daily candle staying above this area, and yep, then we could go for those slightly higher levels. But at the moment, I'm not seeing that, so that's why I will remain cautiously bullish on this one. A quick update on AUDCAD. So yes, we had a good move here. We tested the downside line taken from the high of the 25th of February, but we failed to not only stay above it, because we kind of, you can see, we briefly overcame it. Not only we failed to stay above it, but also we failed to stay above that 21-day EMA. So again, this is where it raises a few eyebrows here and in the bull block. So let's see if this is gonna continue to hold, if this downside line will continue to hold. If it does, then well, we could consider again the downside, but I would prefer to, in order to aim for the downside, I would prefer to wait for a drop somewhere below this 0.92 territory and then go for the downside. But at the moment, again, like I said, it's a bit of a tricky one here. If we break the downside line and stay above it, then perfect. Yes, great. We could go for those slightly higher levels, but yeah, we can see that there are still obstacles on the way higher, so initially we'll just aim for those obstacles right here. Quick update on USDCHF. So yep, after kind of finding support near this 0.9018 territory, the pair started correcting back up, but it still remains below all of its EMAs here on the daily chart, and also remains below this downside line. So what I said previously, that it might drift a little bit higher here, but if it struggles, for example, to overcome this 0.9118 territory, then yes, another slide might be possible, so keep that in mind. But if we overcome this area and we also jump above all of these EMAs, now this is where we will aim for this downside resistance line, and then we'll take it from there. Now, quick update again on this pair, the US dollar against the Russian ruble, and this is what I've mentioned to you guys yesterday as well, that basically I'm keeping an eye on some of these lines, and in particular the short-term upside support line from the low of the 11th of June. As you can see, we managed to rebound from this area. We pushed higher, and this is what I told you guys, that wait for that daily candle to remain below that upside line, because again you can see that yes, we were briefly visiting the area below this upside line, but then at the end of the day we jumped back up. So that's why for now stay careful here, be very cautious, and I will say that I will wait on this one, although it's very tempting, but I'll wait for a clear break, and I would like to see the daily candle staying outside of this little triangle pattern before considering the next kind of short-term directional move. And jumping into GBPUSD here, so GBPUSD did drift back down, although it was moving nicely to the upside here above this 1.3910 territory. I spoke about that level, but as you can see, it drifted back down, and now it's kind of looking a little bit more on the bearish side from the very near-term perspective, but here, for example, we still have this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of May of 2020, which could still provide support, and maybe this little move here to the downside could be seen as maybe a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So you can see that we are still trading above this downside line, which I've mentioned to you previously, and that currently kind of acts as a kind of slide here for this pair. So in other words, if we break below the crossroads here of this, or break below both of these lines, then yes, this is where we will start getting a little bit more comfortable with the downside, but again, only in the near term. But if it stays above both of these lines, then, well, I mean, maybe we're not really done with the upside, so keep that in mind. GBPUSD, very quickly on this, also at a very interesting spot right now. I've mentioned to you this previously, that we do have this little short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 28th of June, and if it continues to hold, then yes, we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. But if it breaks, that's where it could become very interesting, and we could see maybe a further correction here to the downside, because don't forget that we are still trading above some of these other upside lines. So in a way, even if we break this shorter term upside line, then yes, this move lower could still be classed as a temporary correction. Euro NZD, guys, so this one's quite interesting, and if you remember this week I talked about this as highlighted territory. I needed to see a break through that highlighted territory first before aiming for higher levels, and you can see why, basically, because again the pair reversed to the downside, and it didn't reach that highlighted territory, and instead it fell lower, broke the short-term upside line, this one taken from the low of the 6th of July, but now is resting near this other upside support line taken from the low of the 24th of February, which is, by the way, also the lowest point of this year. So for now, like I said, we're resting here. If this upside line continues to provide support, then yes, maybe we could see a nice push higher and a move back to the upside here, especially if it climbs back above this 1.6838 zone. So let's keep an eye on that one. If by any chance the the pair starts moving lower and falls below yesterday's low, which is roughly around the 1.6748 zone, then yes, that's where more sellers could join in. And finally, EURUSD also did drift higher initially, but failed to move to the or failed to reach the high of last week, and yep, instead it declined and fell to the 1.1835, well, actually 1.1830 zone, which, as I mentioned to you previously, that if, and well, actually previously yesterday I said to you guys that if the pair fails to move above this 1.1909 territory, we might see it drift lower. However, we might see this this level getting tested a little bit earlier, this 1.1830, and if that surrenders, then well, I mean, we could see a bit of a push to the downside here, and our next target could be that lowest point of July near the 1.1752 territory, and then of course we will take it from there. So guys, that's it for this session, guys. I really hope you found it useful. Just to let you know as well that tomorrow there won't be any Traders Espresso. We will resume on Monday, and I hope you guys, you will have a fantastic trading day today, tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend, and of course, as always, guys, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, guys, and bye bye.